Give me a second to make sure that things are going and working. It says I might be live. Okay. I think I'm live. I'm like 42% sure I'm live. But my thing is just being... Oh, there it goes. Now everything's loading. And we have audio. Cool. We love that. Can I go to my stream manager now? Cool. Love that. Well, salutations, friends. My name is Brianna Bond, otherwise known as No Ordinary Scholar. And I'm so sorry. We're going to be talking about Ladonia again. And I'm not going to lie. It's not the last time we're going to be talking about this show. It's brought a lot out of me, but I do have a main channel video that it's not gonna come out for a while, but I will start working on it in a little bit. We'll see what happens. But, so we have this, in fact, fun fact about this is that the video that I'm going to do as a main channel video was originally going to be the thing I talk about in this little live pod, but I just felt like I had a lot more to say on that topic, and I wanted to sit down and chat with you guys about something, so we switched them around, and this is probably just going to be a lot less in-depth as the other one would have been, and that one would have been great to have, you know, my, like, facial features, my hand gestures, because I have some great hand gestures, so we switched them around, and this is going to be the pod discussion. I do want to like touch on like a couple quick things first. First and foremost, I was 1000% right when I said that, because like I said in the first in the first Ladonia video I did, in like Ladonia discussion I ended up, because there was a lot of witchcraft which I was not prepared for in this show, and so I like read a couple of the I read a couple descriptions of some of the episodes, including some of the later episodes, to kind of get a feel for what I'm getting into. And so I quote unquote knew what was going to happen in the show, but still, as I'm watching the show, had zero fucking idea what the fuck was going on and what I was watching. And that was great. So I got into, like, I truly thought that that there was going to be a piece at the end of the show, but, like, someone else was going to try and get revenge and end up killing Saul. Like, that's how I thought this show was going to end. And I was very, very wrong. Even though I knew through the description, like, the air of what was going to end up happening. So that was something I really enjoyed, like, the fact that I truly had no idea what was going on. Like, they had me for a loop the whole time, and they did well at that. Other thing was this, like, they harped on it a bit in the fucking show, and then they kind of just dropped it, but the whole idea was frankly just stupid. Was towards the end of the show, they have a women's march, and Braudio comes, who at this point is a fugitive. He comes, he attacks his pregnant ex-wife, some of the women from the Foundation for the Abused Women. Some of those women help, like, hitting him, chase him away. He, like, the thing is, he runs, and he runs far, and he gets, I want to say, several blocks ahead of them, turns, isn't watching where he's going, and gets hit by a car and dies. And the show kind of harps on this idea that the women think, oh my god, we're going to jail. Which, if we're being, I understand them having that fear, them feeling like they might be blamed because of everything they've been through. It's easy for them to feel like the government would kind of use them as scapegoats for this. I understand that. What I don't understand is how all of the sensible, like, less emotionally heightened people around them aren't gonna bring up the fact that he got hit by a car when you guys were, like, 4 blocks away. That's not your fault. He attacked someone, you chased him away, he got really far away from you, and then got hit by a car. You are in no way to blame for that. No one said that. Why hasn't, like, Saul just says, you guys, the law is on our side, it was self-defense, you have nothing to worry about. He didn't say the guy died by getting hit by a car. And so that was something that, like, it felt weird, the way that they kind of brought attention to that, and yet didn't truly continue and, like, truly follow through with just the general fact of he got hit by a car and that's how he died. So that was weird for me. That was weird and kind of, like, messed with my ears a little bit, if that makes any sense. Like, hearing that and hearing them, like, not fully commit to the storytelling decision they made there just weirded me out. It weirded me out. But that's that. Now, here's the thing we are actually here to talk about. So, in the show, like we talked about last time, we have this kid, Diego, who his dad, Braulio, didn't want him to date this girl who was from a lower class. And so what he did was he drugged and raped her to get them to break up. And while 1,001 other things happened in that, like, to Braulio, like, that was a major part of him getting jailed. A lot of other things happened, but they did end up breaking up because of that. And what ended up happening was Diego saw this, left, and he left her there with his dad because he was overwhelmed, he was, like, emotional, whatnot. And he left, and he didn't talk to her for weeks. Because for weeks, he wasn't even sure if he believed her or not. And so he just didn't talk to her for weeks. Then he tries to get back with her. She's not into it. Their friends end up trying to, like, pitch them together. They kiss, but he backs away because he starts thinking of the fact that he saw her in bed with his dad. And so she leaves, doesn't talk to him anymore. He's like, no, I regret it. I'll get over it. It's fine. She doesn't want to talk to him. In the meantime, Isabella, his best friend, the girl he used to be in love with, has now fallen in love with him and is like, it's fine. You can just get over. Lydia doesn't want you anymore. I will be with you, though. And the main thing that Isabella is constantly preaching is that, like, Lydia's not here. Lydia doesn't want to be with you, so why bother? But at the same time, she's also like, well, you went through some tough stuff too. If she doesn't want to understand that, then be with someone who will be here for you. I'm here for you right now. And at first, Diego was saying, like, she has right to be mad because she has the right to be upset with what he did. She does. And so he says that at first, but we eventually get to a point where he's like, sure, I'll date you, Isabella. And then he also says, he himself says, I'll date you because you're the one that's here for me. Lydia's not. And after he said that line, I didn't want him to be with Lydia anymore. Lydia deserved better. Because, yes, while Diego has, of course, been through quite a traumatic situation with his father, like, that doesn't compare. Like, that specific situation, that doesn't compare to the girl that was drugged and raped by him. That's not an equal comparison. And for him to say, like, I'll be with someone else because she's not here to support me, and yet he wasn't there to support her when she needed him the most. He left her with his dad and didn't want to talk to her for weeks. He wouldn't answer her calls for a while. And now that she's been sufficiently hurt, he changes his mind and is upset that it's, like, not an easy switch for her. he also does end up testifying against his father for it, and then uses that as kind of I even testified against this man, but you won't take me back, but you don't think that's good enough, but you won't. And it's like, that's kind of, not gonna lie, bare fucking minimum. Especially because you didn't have a relationship with your dad. Your dad was abusive to you. Your dad was abusive to your mom. You knew your dad was a murderer. And you knew your dad raped your girlfriend. Testifying against him is literally bare fucking minimum. And he wants to use that as an example against her. That I've done this, this, and this for you, and you don't want to be here to support me. What about what I went through? What about what I went through? And the reason why this is so upsetting, I don't even know, I don't remember if they said this in the show or not, or if this was like me rambling whilst, and like talking to myself whilst the show is still going on. And that's why I associate with the show. But the difference here is, he has issues with his dad, yes, but those issues exist with just his dad. The thing that she went through, the things that Lydia went through, will persist throughout her entire life, and they will persist with every male she is encountering in life. Like, those are traumas that are going to follow her with every interaction she has with a male. He just has issues with his dad, and that's such a big difference. Granted, I, for one, understand how, like, rough and how traumatizing it can be to have such a rough relationship with a parent, but for the most part there is kind of a line drawn with the extent to which that issue impacts your ability to interact with other people. Because it's easier for you to get to a point where you can say, not all people are going to treat me the way my parents did. Because for the most part, a lot of people don't treat strangers that way. But especially in a country and in a situation where, like, it's so common for abusive women to happen, that's going to be harder to get past. It was just so, like, that truly got to me to a point where I was like, you know what? I don't think Diego deserves love. I don't think Diego, at least he does not deserve Lydia. I also don't like, it was really hard for me. My phone's looking to see if I was around anyone with COVID real quick. But it was really hard for me to get to a point where I thought Isabella, like, I didn't like her. I could not like her. Yes, they presented her as less spoiled, but she was still so spoiled and indignant, and I just could not get with her character at all. And so, while I, again, wasn't a fan of her character, it was like, you know what, Diego can go with her. That was essentially where I was at. I felt like Lydia deserved better. She deserved someone that could understand how, because again, it is a show that he does not understand how impactful her trauma was, and how leaving her and abandoning her in those moments just piled on to it, just added to the pain she would endure. And something I was really, really disappointed in was the fact that they didn't have him talk to Lopecito about how to support a woman that's been in that kind of situation, because Lopecito was the guy that his mom was having an affair with. And so I feel like they had like a great opportunity to have him go to Lopecito to try and figure out how to, like, make up for this mistake, and how to actually, like, treat Lydia the way she deserves to be treated, how to be there for her the way she needs him to be there. And frankly, I probably would have given the show all of the props if they had just gotten to a point where he says, you know what? I don't know if I know. I don't know if I know how to be the type of man you need right now. While that, in writing, that sounds like it sucks and that sounds like it hurts. But to be someone that is traumatized, hurt, this, that, I know I would personally prefer 1,000 times over if someone just told me that they didn't know how to help me. If someone told me they didn't know how to be there for me the way that they needed, I would prefer that versus someone giving me the same script we all got in middle school, telling me to call this, and this person, and then freezing up or leaving when I actually have to talk about, like, real issues. So I would have loved that. And there was also, like, a side, like, they got to a point where he seemed borderline obsessed with Lydia. Like, he was determined to quit school so they could live together, which she didn't even say she was ready to live with him. But he's like, no, I want to live with you, even if it means I have to cut school or quit school and drop out of school. And she says, I will break up with you if you quit school. And he's still like, I have to quit school so I can pay bills so we can live together. He seems borderline obsessed with her. It makes me a little uncomfortable. Just a tish bit. But yeah, that's really the Chathams I had to talk about for this show. I do have yet another La Doña video coming out. It will be a main channel video, and I'm actually quite excited for it. It is, I'll give you a hint, it is less of, it's less of an analysis on that show and more of like a real world plot holes kind of video that actually touches on something we've talked about in at least one other video. I think just one other video. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. I have a lot of things in the pipeline video-wise. Maybe I should do... No. I have a lot of things in the pipeline, including one video that is literally, like, middle school Brianna. I don't know if it would be middle school or elementary school Brianna, but, like, young Brianna. This video's for her. So that's coming up as well. I'm super excited to keep bringing stuff out for you guys. It is at a snail's pace, but that's what I got right now. That's what I've got right now. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, valedictions, friends.